Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Firas Izazi Binti Mohamad. So today for this HIRARC assignment, we choose Malaysia Marine and Heavy Engineering, MMHE. As for the competent person, we have interviewed Encik Khairul Afandi bin Mosmin, which is a safety and health officer at MMHE. Now, let's move to the overview of the selected jobs. Every one of us has to deal with the risk on a daily basis. So, the HIRARC form aims is to assess the hazard and the risk associated with them in order to offer an objective assessment of the detected hazard as well as a risk control approach. There are three main activities. The first one is grinding activity. Grinders are skilled employees that use grinding equipment to cut various materials in order to make products or assist with building tasks. Secondly, lifting activity. A construction lift, sometimes referred to as an area lift, area work platform AWP or main lift, is a motorized forklift used to assist construction workers in reaching high heights for works or projects. And the third is painting activity. Confined space painting is a subset of the coating and painting industry that is frequently connected with the dangerous work settings.
Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. My name is Farah, Adeeba, Nabilla, Binti, Mohamad, Fauzi, and I'll be explaining the hazard elements for each working situation. As you can see, there are three hazards elements that has been identified in Malaysia Marine and Heavy Engineering, MMHE, in terms of physical, chemical, and ergonomics. Physical hazard is the most frequent hazard that can be found in almost every workplace. Physical hazards include radiation, high exposure to sunlight, temperature extremes, and constant loud noise. There are a few examples of physical hazard at Malaysia Marine and Heavy Engineering, which can affect to the employees, which are welding and grinding. These examples may injure an employee in terms of explosion, heat, or noise. The next hazard elements that were found was chemical hazard. Chemical dangers are compounds that have the potential to cause hurt. They can be very perilous. However, they are not more often than not self-evident within the work environment. For an instance, in MMHE, workers are required to work in a confined space which are hazardous due to the dangers of poisonous gases, low oxygen levels, and the possibility of fire. There have been incalculable reports of rescuers losing awareness when entering a cramped put, making the whole prepare less secure and more complicated. Last but not least is the ergonomic hazard. The ergonomic risk can cause back torment, muscle spasm, and potential musculoskeletal injury. The examples of ergonomic hazard that can be found in MMHE is manual handling, such as lifting, lowering, pushing, pulling, and carrying. Workers who suffer from ergonomic hazard may have less ability to do tasks, and the most serious cases can result in permanent disability.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Intan and Alyssa. I'm going to talk about the risk assessment. MMHE calculates risk as likelihood times severity. This formula applies to grinding, painting, and lifting. Grinding requires workers to be in dangerously high places. Hand grease and PPE and also scaffolding help employees control barriers at work. During the evaluation, this activity could cause people to slip, fall, or trip due to the slippery floor. Painting is risky because workers are exposed to toxic chemicals endangering their life. This could harm their health and cause chemical burns. According to the risk assessment, incorrect handling can lead to sprained ankle, muscle pain, or back pain. The object could fall during lifting, cause head and body injuries. The risk of back pain, bruises, sprains, and other injuries. To fit this hazard, workers must follow procedures, communicate well, and watch the overhead object.
Hi, I am Nisya Mohamad. So let's move on to the next part, which is risk control. Firstly, to minimize the hazard of working at a height like doing grinding activity, MMHE should make sure that every person that are responsible for working at a height to wear protective equipment, which is PPE, such as safety gloves and safety harness when performing the work to reduce the hazard that they are exposed to. Next, during the lifting, there are a lot of hazards that may happen to the worker involved. So MMHE must make sure that all the operator who handle lifting activity must have a correct procedure, proper communication, and have the DOS certificate and pass the competency test to handle the forklift to ensure there will be no or less accident occur. Furthermore, to control and minimize hazard of working in confined space like painting activity, it is really encouraged to use the proper handling technique and put on the proper hand glove. Then the person who work in confined space must attend training and pass the assessment AESP before start working in the confined space. So that's all from us. Thank you for your time and attention.
Now we have reached the last part, which is conclusions. To sum it up, this paper investigates and describes occupational accidents at Malaysia Marine and Heavy Engineering (MMHE). The company not only needs to assess the risk and risk control measures, but also in the event of an accident or near miss at MMHE. Hazard identifications and risk assessments is an ongoing process. Therefore, the effectiveness of risk assessments and controls must be constantly reviewed.